Hey, Title Church. My name's Pastor Sam. I'm the youth and the Miramichi campus pastor, and I have the privilege to be sitting here with a few of my good friends. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Kaylee Garden. I've been coming to this church for about 2 years, and I am in grade 12. I'm going to be graduating soon, and I go to Review High School.
My name is Madison Nugent. I've been at Title for just around 9 months. I'm in grade 10.
I'm Weston Steves. I've grown up here at Title Church, and I go to the best high school in the world, Harrison Trimble.
We have a lot coming up here in the life of the church, but especially for our students. There's a lot of really cool things that are happening, even over the last few months. I mean, we've seen a move of God in the schools, not because anything us of adults have done, but because of you guys as students really carrying the baton, which is just such a beautiful thing to really see. And we're kind of taking that really, and we're going all the way over to New York for our New York mission trip, which is going to be, it's going to be crazy. Like, I know God is going to move in a really cool way. And I just want to ask you guys, like, what made you guys really want to apply and go to New York on this mission trip?
So first off, for me, this is going to be my second mission trip. So I really felt pushed to go because I saw so much growth in my life. When I first went on my first mission trip to Guatemala, I was a new Christian, and the amount of growth that I saw in my life as a Christian that has kind of just like shaped my life and like my future. Like, I'm actually going into ministry because of that mission trip and like the call that I felt on that mission trip. So yeah, I just want to see where God is going to take me and where He's going to lead me, and how I'm going to grow on this mission trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me.
I decided to go on this missions trip because I'm a new Christian and I've had the opportunity to see what God can do in someone's lives, even in their darkest moments. So I really wanted to be able to share that with other people and help people who aren't doing so great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For me, like, if I'm being honest, I kind of hesitated to go on the trip to New York. But the biggest thing that pushed me is when I talked to people, they said, like, it's not even about going to New York. It's not about going anywhere. It's that God really tends to move when you get outside of your comfort zone. 100%. When you move away from the norm, when you move away from your schedule, your routine, that God really tends to move and speak to you. Yeah. And so that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. What's one thing that you think you're going to kind of be forced to grow in or be pushed outside of your comfort zone in while we kind of head and talk to people and do homeless ministry and serve in really kind of the inner city of New York? What's one way that you think that you're really going to be pushed and forced to grow?
I come off as kind of like a outgoing, extroverted person, but I'm actually quite introverted. So I am going to have a hard time with going out and like actually talking to people. I think that's going to be something that I'm going to really be pushed in, but I'm very excited about it because, like you said, Weston, like, you don't grow when you're comfortable, and God moves when you're pushed out of your comfort zone. So I'm really excited to see where that's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
How He's going to move.
Yeah, I'd say probably the same. Like, I do like talking to people, but sometimes I know that hearing about other people's religion is difficult. So it would probably be most challenging for me to like go out and share that with others because it's not really something I'm used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the biggest thing, like, we know that we should be evangelizing. We know that we should be telling people about Jesus everywhere that we are. But here, when we're at home, it's easy to make excuses. You're like, no, I got to get there. I got something to do. Like, I'm not talking to that person. But it's like, we're in New York to evangelize, to talk to people. Like, there's no excuses. It's like, you have to, right? So I think that being pushed out of your comfort zone out of necessity to do that is just, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. What do you think is one thing as we prepare and as we pray into what God is going to do, might want to do, as we anticipate God to move in and through us? What's one thing that you're praying for God to do while we're in New York?
Personally, I am really just needing, in the season of my life right now, I'm just needing kind of like guidance, and just like, I want to just fully trust the Lord. And so I'm hoping that He can really, and praying that He is just going to really just show me how much I can trust in Him and rely on Him, and just like kind of move in my life in ways that I really need in this season of my life with these struggles that I'm going through. So yeah, just said.
Yeah, I'd say probably similarly. Like, I want to be able to hear God call me to go talk to people because we don't know who we're going to talk to and who we're going to evangelize to. So,
Absolutely.
like, God, like, making sure I know that, like, there's certain people that I need to talk to, even just to water a seed or to plant a seed.
Absolutely.
For me, and something that I need to be praying for is we've got a great group of people that's going on the trip. And we've seen these amazing people do amazing things here in Moncton, and lots of us are moving on to those next stages in our life. And so I hope that in New York that God really speaks to people and, like Kaylee said, directs us into the ways that he's calling us into ministry, because I think we're all called into ministry to some degree, and where that calling is for each and every one of us in our lives as we come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Another thing that's coming up here in the life of the church, but really in the life of you guys, is I know Maddie, you're not graduating yet, but Weston, Kaylee, you guys are. And graduation is a really big moment in your lives, right? Like, it's that moment where I think for a lot of us as we graduate, like, things really start to feel real. And if you could go all the way back and tell your grade 9 self something, what would you tell yourself all the way back in grade 9?
Personally, it's a big thing for me because I only became a Christian. I think it's going to be 3 years in July.
Yeah.
So grade 9 me was a complete different person. I would have never thought that I would be up here talking about the second mission trip that I'm going on.
Absolutely.
And evangelizing to people. So I would probably tell my grade 9 self to just have hope. I didn't have a lot of hope.
That's good.
And that there's better things coming and you have a purpose, because I didn't really feel those things in me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah.
I think when I hear that question, instantly I thought, like, well, what would I change? And I don't think that there's anything that I would change, because I see that everything I've done, all the mistakes I've made, all the embarrassing things that I've done have led to who I am today. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm just amazed at what God has done in my life, where he's brought me and where he's bringing me. And so I would say to grade 9 Weston, just keep pushing. Like, just keep pushing, man. Like, it's all working out. And so I wouldn't really change anything.
Yeah, man, I don't know about you, but there's a few things back when I think of high school that I wish, some embarrassing things in particular, that I wish I could, like,
just erase those.
There's really no going back.
No.
Yeah, there's no going back at all. Graduation can be a really exciting time. It can also be a little bit intimidating as well. What scares you guys about graduating, and how are you currently trusting God with that?
So for me, I am actually mostly excited about graduating. I'm ready to go on to the next step of my life.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to Kingswood to pursue full-time ministry.
Let's go. That's awesome.
So I'm just extremely excited about that. It is kind of nerve-wracking, and just like it can be a bit stressful. Especially when you are going into full-time ministry and people, it's just not something a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of feedback from the world. So that can be a bit discouraging, but I just have to trust in the Lord and just know that that's the plan that he has for me in my life. And I felt that so strongly. And just so I have to trust him with that. It'll be discouraging, but I know that his plan is better than anything that I could ever plan.
Amen. Let's go.
For me, I mean, I think Kaylee can relate, like when you're out and about at our age, basically every second conversation you have with someone goes something like, so what's your plans for next year, right? And so there's just a lot of pressure put on that, and I say different answers to different people, but normally it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, right? There's different things that I'm pursuing, but I really don't know what next year is going to look like. And so it's like the last years of our lives have been planned out. It's like, you know what next year is going to look like. And as much as you're like, well, I'm not sure, you're like, I'm going to be in school. I'm going to be doing something, right?
Absolutely.
And so I'm trusting God, and I know that he's got plans for my life to bring me to do great things. But it's like, for the first time, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
I don't know. But no, it's good.
Yeah, that question of what do you want to do after you graduate really throws me back. When I first became a youth pastor, I didn't know how to interact with students, so I was like, "You're graduating, so like,
what's going on next year?"
I suck at small talk, so I feel you on that one for sure. A part of a piece of what's coming up obviously is graduation, and then the other part kind of that we're honoring on the same day is actually Father's Day, which fathers play a really big role, in a lot of people's lives, whether, you're close with your biological dad or you're not. But we also acknowledge that Father's Day, as much as it is something to celebrate, for others, it can be a really hard time, whether that be through the loss of a loved one, the loss of a dad, whether that be through a rocky relationship, with him. But and in the same time, we do know that there are other dads in the church that sometimes assume those roles in discipleship and mentorship. So we're really excited to be able to honor dads. And kind of one of the questions I have for you guys is, what is your favorite memory of your dad? Like, when you think of, hey, that's my dad, what's the number one, like, core happy memory that kind of like bubbles up?
For me, I don't think of like a specific memory, but I love my dad. I have a great relationship with my dad. We're really close. We do have our rocky moments, but we always come back.
Yeah.
And so I like being around him. I like being with him. We always went to Alma together, and just like hiked and just did whatever, walked around, and
That's
just
awesome.
went to the beach. And so just any moment with him
Yeah.
was really great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For me, like, since my dad passed, I like reflecting on the happy moments a lot. And a lot of the ones I remember is where he used to live. There was just a water park right up the street, and we would always walk up there, and it was always such a
Awesome.
great time.
Yeah.
And we'd always walk to like Air Convenience too. And we
Okay,
love
that's
those
awesome.
subs. Yeah, those like every
You
day.
can't beat them.
Yeah, hole in the wall, best place to get food.
Honestly.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
affordable.
It is,
You
and
can't
it's
beat it.
delicious. So
It is.
best of both worlds.
Nutritious? Well, maybe not, but it's
Up
good.
for debate.
Yeah. For me, my dad is my best friend. And people see that. I mean, people kind of sometimes get us mixed up because we look like the same person.
Yeah.
But my dad really is my best friend, and I really, really look up to him. And one of the things that I admire about my dad is he's a busy guy, and he's got a lot going on, like most dads. But one thing that he's never failed to do is, it doesn't matter how many hours he worked in the day, when he gets home, he's not hiding away. He's ready to do something with us. He's ready to take us out. He's ready to go hang out every single day. And so he always makes time for us no matter what he has going on. And so I really look up to him for that.
What's one way that your dad has either impacted your life or your faith, kind of as you've journeyed the last few years?
It's been probably different from most people's, because my dad actually is atheist, so it's been different with my faith journey.
Yeah.
But like, he's had the biggest impact on my life, and he still has. He's still one of my biggest role models, even though we don't see completely eye to eye and we have our rocky times. He is one of my biggest role models, and I really look up to him, and he's had the biggest impact on my life. He shows me how I need to be as a person, even if we have different views on the world. And I'm like internally grateful for that, because if I didn't have him, my life would be a lot different.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just extremely grateful for him.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Kind of like Kaylee, my dad didn't really grow up in a church. He did have a bad experience in a Catholic church, and then he kind of just stopped going.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of when he passed, that kind of sent me down kind of like a rabbit hole of mental health issues. But then I was able to see from a friend or about the youth rally at Craneville. So that's
Yeah.
how my journey kind of started
That's
in the
awesome.
church. So I guess seeing how he was affected by not so great experiences has helped me to see that there can be good experiences in the church.
Yeah, wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
For me, one of the biggest things that has impacted me, and one of the things that I try and follow after my dad in, is his work ethic. That's what drives me to work hard, is following after his example. And, sometimes it means working a little too hard, but I really look up to him in that. But at the same time, how he lives out his faith. We work in the construction industry, and sometimes it's not often to live out your faith, but I really admire the way that he does live out his faith in all areas of his life, and how he leads our family, and all around. I really look up to him.
Yes, that's awesome. That's really cool. One thing that's really important to me, but also to us as a church, is to really highlight the ways, again, that God is moving in the lives of these guys, but also so many other students. And I'm sure that if you sat down with one of these guys, they could share story after story after story of what God has done in their schools, but also in their lives personally. And so one thing that I've been dying to ask you guys is, just even in the last 3 months, what is it that God's been doing in your life? What is it that he's been teaching you? What is it that he's been, asking you to do? And what have you done with it? Or what are you processing through?
For me, there's a lot of things going on in my life. So he is just trying to, I feel so strongly that he wants me to completely rely on him.
Yeah.
Like I have never before. And it has been the hardest time of my life, but it's also been the best time of my life because I have gone through hard things before this, and as we all do. But this time is different because I have this peace, even though there's so much chaos in my life. That only comes from the Lord we serve. It only comes from that. So he's really moving in my life and strengthening me as a person, as a Christian. And I'm so excited to see how strong of a person I'm gonna be. I come out of this time of struggles that is just really building me up to how he wants me to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
His image.
I found recently that I've kind of been in some seasons of laziness where I'm not really fully dependent on the Lord. So I've kind of been overthinking a lot of things and how hard I've been working. I overthink some situations where I could have done more or I've done too much. But recently I've realized that I just need to rely on him. I need to call out to him. I need to tell him how I feel, and then he can help me and he can meet me where I'm at, which has been super helpful recently.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that's been cool for me, and it's a continual answer to prayer over the past few years, is I was at a point probably 2 years ago where I was like, God, I need some Christian friends. I feel like I'm doing this alone. And it was one of those things where God has brought me incredible Christian friends time and time again over the last 2 years. And so it's just when I thought the prayer was answered, he just keeps giving me more incredible people. And some of these people are right here with me right now. And in these past few months, I've got really close with some other people who are really far along in their faith and just really follow Jesus. And it's been an incredible example for me. And it's really pushed me in prayer and pushed me in living out my faith, which is the best way to be disciples, is when you're with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. A big part of faith and discipleship is really, somebody who's maybe older, a little bit wiser, somebody who maybe has some life experience, who's been following Jesus for a long time, to kind of come alongside and help pour into, to help just not give advice, but to say hey, where are you at? What are you struggling with? How can I be praying for you? Do you guys have somebody that's currently engaging, in a discipleship relationship with you guys that's maybe a little bit older, from either from the church or somebody that and who is that person? How has that really kind of impacted your life and walk with Christ?
I have many people. I just wanted to say before I get into who it is, that there are so many incredible people in the church. It's just like the community here is unlike anything I've ever experienced. People are so giving, and I've really experienced that. I have my own like adopted family.
That's awesome.
That I call that I'm part of their family. They say it and I say it, and it's are we saying names? Yeah.
UK, yeah.
100%. Anyway, it's Rachel and Tyson Rogers. They have actually 6 kids, and I am actually going to be number 7, but it's actually going to be seen to be 8.
Wow, that's awesome.
Anyway, so they have just poured into me with not complete support from my whole family. They have been there whenever I need. Rachel, I see her as like a mom figure, and she's just completely poured into me as if I were her daughter.
That's awesome.
And she just showed me just what a real Christian woman and a woman of God and should be, and how I can be a strong mother. And just she's been such a good example for me. And I don't know what I don't know what I would do if God didn't place them in my life. So
That's awesome.
Grateful for that.
I have a few as well.
Yeah.
I find myself relying a lot on Russell Smith.
Shout out Russell.
Let's go, Russell. Hey, man, give it a hand.
I kind of have to go through Ella, but he always gives such good advice.
Yeah.
And then here at Youth, I'm surrounded by so many great people that help and support me a lot, like Todd Elliott, Karen Betts, and yourself. You baptized me, but it's pretty awesome. Like, you guys are always willing to pray for me. Everyone's always willing to pray for me, but
It's awesome.
yeah.
That's good.
Me personally, I try, and it's not good, but I try not to be too open with people. And so as much as there's lots of people in my life who really help me, I should probably be prioritizing those things a little bit more. But definitely yourself, you're always open to going out with me, and
I didn't put them up to this, just so you know. I just
and I sound like a broken record, but my dad and he's always there to help me, and Pastor Jeremy is always there to give me wisdom, and so lots of great people in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, God is doing something incredible in this generation, and the whole church has a part in that, in fostering that, in coming alongside of it. And the reason that we're highlighting what God is doing in our students is because we believe that it's important, not just because it's the next generation of the church, but because they are the church today, and that matters deeply. That it matters that these students are graduating and taking ownership in the church. That it matters that we as a team are being sent and going all the way to New York to minister, to help people, to tell people about Jesus and what God has done in our lives. It's why we highlight things of what, even mentors and people that have come alongside have, helped them through things and have prayed with them, and why that matters, because that all contributes to to advancing the kingdom of God here and His church. And I'm so grateful for what God is doing in your lives, and I'm so excited to see what He continues to do in the lives of you guys, but also through the young people in His church.